So if I ever feel like being condescended to by young people, I watch videos by NowThisNews. Here's how their latest gym starts.
Hey guys, welcome back to Now This. Guys is a simple term. It could mean boys, or if you're modern, hip, it means people.
If that's modern and hip, my parents' generation is still hip.
At first glance, guys seems inviting, friendly, maybe warm, even comedic at times. But it, like many male default terms,
Here we go.
should not be normalized as an all-encompassing phrase, innocent as it may seem. While we may understand the word means no real harm,
That's right, no real harm.
with a deeper look, you'll understand that we've been ignoring the cognitive impact on women as well as gender non-conforming folks by only explicitly addressing the male-identifying individuals present.
It's quite common for languages to use male-gendered words to describe groups of men and women. So stop discriminating against Spanish-speaking people.
The meaning of guys has changed over time.
Prepare yourself for a little history lesson.
According to the Washington Post, etymologists believe it began in the 17th century with a guy named Guy Fawkes, a participant in the failed 1605 gunpowder plot. He only barely escaped a brutal execution by jumping off a scaffold and breaking his neck. For the next few centuries, those who likened him in fashion, appearance, or intellect were referred to as guys. Eventually, according to the Boston Globe, the term broadened to describe creepy people, then to a generic term for men, and now, some would say, a gender-neutral phrase.
Yeah, because we're using it as a gender-neutral phrase, which, as you just explained, it has been before.
For decades, we have set a standard of only addressing the men in the room.
No, for centuries we've been using ostensibly male terms as gender-neutral terms. Even the word man didn't necessarily refer to a male. It could also just mean person.
Of course, we claim it's colloquial, but with our elevated knowledge
Here's that condescension I was talking about.
and inclusive perspective, it just seems lazy, inconsiderate, and a small part of what reinforces the gender hierarchy today. How is one to feel empowered to speak or assert themselves when upon greeting they're misgendered or even ignored in language?
Maybe you shouldn't base so much of your self-worth on affirmations from others. Just thinking out loud.
Can we be surprised that for decades women often felt uncomfortable asserting their voice when we didn't even take the time to properly acknowledge them?
Didn't stop Susan B. Anthony. If the only thing preventing you from talking is a gendered noun, maybe it's not us. Maybe it's you.
These linguistic tendencies were developed and reinforced in eras where women were barely meant to be seen and certainly not heard.
Here's some women who were seen and heard back then.
Please note, you're not a bad feminist if you're comfortable with using the phrase guys. There are larger issues that we, the feminists, need to combat. Reproductive rights.
Wait, you're combating reproductive rights? Also, birth control and abortion are both legal.
Rape culture, violence against women.
Well, apparently if you want to avoid getting raped or assaulted, you should just avoid hanging out with male feminists.
And LGBTQ rights.
I'll assume you don't mean you're combating LGBTQ rights.
And the general reprogramming of most people's minds when it comes to the valuation of women in society.
What now? You want to reprogram people? Nothing creepy about that.
But when you stop valuing the personhood and visibility of individuals, you make it easier to dehumanize them on a macro scale, minimizing his, her, its, their right to respect and equality.
I think you're exaggerating. There's a reason these things are called microaggressions. You could always just not sweat the small stuff. Just tune it out. It works for men. We tune out our wives and girlfriends all the time.
I'm not offended, per se, if someone lumps me in with the guys.
You literally just explained why your point is mostly irrelevant.
I'm sure there's really no malintent. In fact, if you and your friends want to freely address each other, by all means. I just want you to know that you're one small step away from making a more conscious effort to dismantle the patriarchy. Don't believe me? Try walking into a room full of cisgender heterosexual men and triumphantly announce, "Hey gals, okay girls, thanks sis." I'm sure Within 10 minutes, if not seconds, at least one person will correct you.
Maybe one or two will look at you like you're crazy. The rest will ignore you and have another beer.
We should all be as protective of our gender identities as a cisgender heterosexual man. We deserve it.
I've literally never done anything to protect my identity. My identity is based on who I am and what I've accomplished. And I have time to accomplish a lot because I don't waste my time fussing over minutia.
So what can you do? Substitute one "hey guys" with a simple "good morning everyone." Hi y'all.
Ha! You just confirmed that us Southerners are the wokest of them all. Y'all is our invention. Have a glass of iced tea and thank the land of Dixie for our social awareness.
Folks.
You know, I never say folks, because there's a risk you might mispronounce it and drop a plural F-bomb. But go on.
Everybody, scholars.
Okay, that's a bit pretentious.
Team if you're at work, campers if you're in the forest.
I've been camping many times. Nobody calls each other campers, not even the park rangers. A camper is a vehicle, not a person.
Bayhive, because it's always appropriate.
Unless you think Beyonce sucks.
You can also just find ways to insert people's names and address everyone present.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And when in doubt, say nothing at all.
That sounds familiar.
So you gotta know when to zip up the lipper.
That is so lame.
Hey. Works.
Not cool. Totally lame.
I challenge you to take an extra 0.5 seconds to think about what comes out of your mouth before you say it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Somewhere along the way, hey, you may slip a guy out or two, but thank you in advance for trying. You can say that all of this is silly or too PC.
Yes, exactly.
But there are always larger societal implications of language, the way we use it and weaponize it.
Young people are entirely too free with this word weaponize. It's almost like you think speech is violence, but that'd be ridiculous.
Face it, the things we do and say matter. So if you do nothing else, repeat after me. I am powerful.
You guys are hella stupid. You guys are hella lame.
Well now, that was very entertaining, young lady. But I think you're missing an important key point. If you want to reprogram people's minds so that we value women differently, you might want to start by combating negative female stereotypes. And if you're going to nag people over tiny little things, you're doing the opposite of that.